Welcome everyone to the call. Really appreciate the fact that everybody is on here. Tonight we're going to be talking about starting strong. We're now doing this as a monthly exercise because people are continuing to blow our minds and really smash this business. And we've got 4 beautiful stories tonight, 4 women actually, sharing stories tonight about achieving success in our business. And they've all done it slightly differently. And so I know that the stories are going to resonate with a lot of different people. There's different backgrounds and there's different journeys that are going to be shared here. But I want to firstly touch, before we go into those stories, I want to firstly talk about the basic principles of starting strong. Now, I'm hoping that everybody on here is even the brand new franchisees understand how we suggest that you launch your business, that you utilize our fast track program to really, as a launch pad for your business, aiming for that 1,000 points within the first 10 days and then 4,000 points in a new franchisee within the first 40 days. But there's lots of different ways that you can do this business. You can do it in that fast track way, or you can do it in the cumulative way. And certainly that's how the vast majority of franchisees do this business. More than 80% of people will accumulate business over time. And we love everybody for everything that they do. But there are some basic principles, whether you're doing the fast track or whether you're doing the cumulative way of this business, there are some simple principles that you need to be doing on a consistent basis to build a successful business. And remember, success is however you measure it. But to build a successful Juice Plus business, there are some key things that you need to be doing to starting your business strong. The first thing is that you need to be creating a list. Now, this is network marketing, which means that in order to grow a business, you actually need to network with people. You need to connect with people. If you don't network with people and don't connect with people, you're not going to build a business. I mean, that's just the basic mathematics of this. So the very first thing we always encourage you to do is create a list. Now, I prefer it if people get that list out of their head and onto paper. The first thing is if you keep that list in your head, it's a little bit arrogant to think that you can possibly keep all the names and faces of people that you've ever networked with in your head. But the other benefit to actually, sorry, I just realized I'm pinning myself. The other benefit to putting it down on paper is that you free up space in your head for other names and faces to come in. Writing them down often helps you to then expand on those networks of networks. So it can obviously start with friends and family. That's obviously the first place that we often start. But then we might start to think of second degree relatives. We might think of our work colleagues. We might think of people that we associate within recreational activities, sporting clubs, gymnasiums, and so on. It might be the person that you see at the cafe every day you get your coffee. It might be the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. It might be the lady that you meet in the supermarket. It might be the girl behind the cash register. But spend some time with yourself, sitting down with a piece of paper and just writing out names. It's important not to judge anybody. Don't assume that somebody's not going to be interested in the product or the business. Just write them down. And I actually suggest that you asterisk the people who you think would make fantastic business partners. One of the greatest things that I say to myself now is, who do I want on my executive board? Who do I want to be working closely with to build my empire? And write those people's names down, even if they're your chicken listers, even if they're people that you think, oh, they can't possibly be interested in doing a network marketing business or building business with me. Write their names down. Then go back to that list and continue to add to it. You see, the secret of success to the list is this. It's not about writing the list and then that's the list and that's it, and you just slowly make your way through that list and you literally gun everybody down. That's not the purpose of the list. The purpose of the list is that every day you are expanding that list. You're adding more and more people to that list as you network them in life, on social media or whatever. Now, I'm in this business 20 years and I'm still adding people to that list every single day as I network with them through social media and in my everyday life. So that's really the very first thing that you need to be doing. And if you're not making that list, if you haven't got that list, whether it be on your phone, in your notes section, whether it be on your computer, or whether it just be a good old pen and paper, if you have not done that list, guys, you haven't done the basics of this business. So I'm going to suggest that you go back and start from scratch. And the very first thing that Eric Worre talks about in his GoPro book, in his first principle, in his first skill, is to develop that list. So guys, please go and do your list if you haven't done it. The second basic principle in starting strong in this business is for you to develop your story. Samantha, can you keep yourself muted, please? Developing your story is absolutely key, because you could be in the supermarket, you could be in the elevator, and you're striking up a conversation with someone. You've got 2 minutes while you go from the bottom floor to the 80th floor, and you've got to have that pitch. You've got to have that ability to just roll your story off your tongue. So if you haven't structured, if you haven't even thought about it, then it becomes this bumbling mess. And the reality is, we all know that people don't buy products, people buy us. So if our story is not strong, if it's not powerful, and if it doesn't come with a great posture, you're probably not going to be able to make the sale, or at least create the relationship. So developing your story is key. So you will all find in your starter guide a really great proforma from which you can develop your story. The starter guide can be found on your virtual office under your resources. And look, a very simple scheme. Let's look at product, for example. You could start with something as simple as, I first learned about Juice Plus from my sister. It made complete sense to me because I was burning the candle at both ends and I wasn't getting enough fruits and vegetables in energy every day, and I was just exhausted. I started to take Juice Plus because it bridged that gap, and I'll continue to take it because what I found is that it's reduced the incidence of colds and flu. Bang, 30 seconds, no more. You want your story to be short and sharp. You want it really to be 30 seconds, no more, because you want to then be able to go into asking questions about them, and what do you get enough fruits and veggies in every day. So you want your story to be short and sweet. Now, we don't expect you to have your story down pat from the start, and that is why using the proforma that's in the starter guide is a really good skeleton from which to base your story. And if you start there and you start to use it a lot, what's going to happen is it's going to start to become really fluid for you. And then it'll just roll off the tongue. Same thing goes with the business. Use a proforma to start with. I first heard about the Juice Plus business from, it made complete sense to me because I was looking for something to build a business around my family and stay at home with my kids. And I decided to get a franchise. And now what I've found is that I've been able to generate a solid income every month. That means I can do more mum care than daycare. Something as simple as that. But most definitely, write out your story, practice it lots and lots, practice it into the mirror, and then use it as liberally as you can in as many different ways as you can. The third principle is the importance of reaching out and continue, and this I guess is off the back of your creating a list, is continue to expand your network. Now, many of you are building on social media now, and I'd strongly encourage you to continue to do that because it's a free platform. Some people are using sales funnels, others are using it more organically through their personal profiles, and others are creating business pages. I would certainly suggest that if you're starting out, you just use your personal profile and post in your passions. You want to attract people to work with you. You want to attract people to your executive board who align with your philosophy. So choose your your highest values or your most passionate things. It could be health and well-being, as with most of us it is. It could be empowerment of women. It could be men's health. It could be the side hustle. It could be your family. Whatever your passions are, be posting in those passions every single day, and reach out to groups and networks on social media that are similar to you. So you might go into health groups. I know 60 million Juice Plus franchisees are in those, but you might choose running groups, you might choose women's business groups, you might choose men's health groups, and start to connect with people in those groups. In order for you to really expand your network, you need to be realizing that social media and everything that we do for this business is just about going through the numbers and offering people the opportunity to look at the product or look at the business. The reality in life, guys, is that it doesn't actually matter what other people think of us. It really doesn't. And the funny thing about that is people don't actually care much about us. They actually care about themselves. And so it's really important for you to be very intentional in the relationships that you're creating by asking lots of questions. And that's the people that are the best in this business are those who don't blurt Juice Plus out to everybody else, but simply ask lots of questions. And if you start to play the game with yourself about asking lots of questions, see how many questions you can ask somebody before they actually ask a question of you. You might start with something as simple. The algorithm I like to use is FORM: family, occupation, recreation, and money. You know, tell me about your family. How many kids do you have? Are your kids at school? Are they at home? Who looks after them? Tell me about your job. Do you love your job? How many hours do you spend at your job? What is it that you do? Recreation, what do you like to do for fun? What sort of sports do you play? Do you get to spend much time for yourself? And money, how do you generate an income? Do you want to be generating more of an income? What are the sorts of things that you like to do with money? So they're just a few questions that in a simple conversation, you could be asking somebody. Same thing goes with health as well. You could be asking the same thing with family, occupation, recreation, and money. So you will find in asking lots of questions, and we've got the Master Asker questions in the files section of Hunters and Gatherers and in most of the NMD groups. There's also been a number of calls that we've done about asking great questions. Natalie Baldock did a great one last year that you can find. But what you will find is the more questions you ask, the more you find the space where Juice Plus, the product, or Juice Plus, the business, will fit. And you'll know in your heart, you'll know in your intuition, if you are focused on them instead of what can they do for me, if you're focused on them, you will find that place where Juice Plus fits. And that's when you offer them the opportunity to have a look. And this is where, once again, your posture and your mindset is really important. You have something they need. You've found their point of pain, whether that be to do with the product or the business, and you have something that can help alleviate that pain. If you like, this is a gift that you're giving them. You have an obligation to share something that you know. And the greatest thing that you can do is offer them the opportunity to have a link. So as part of inviting people to look at the product, you really want to not get caught up in you telling them all about it, but rather sharing with them a link. So there are lots of links that are around the product. We've got the Farm Fresh Nutrition ones. We've got the ones that have been produced by Australian head office with our Australian consumers. We've got a lot of ones that are on the product and the research. Similarly, the business, there are now the business ones that have been produced by Australia, New Zealand head office. All you want to do is offer them the opportunity to have a look at the product or the business by simply saying, if I were to, you could say something as simple as, look, Sam, you've said that you're struggling with colds and flu and fatigue. You've said that you're deficient in fruits and vegetables. If I were to show you a way that you could get more fruits and vegetables in every day, would you be open to having a look? And the answer is going to be yes or no. And that's when you would share the link. Danny Martin always used to tell us you should be sharing the link and then doing this, covering up your mouth and just simply sharing the link. And then make a time to follow up with them. This is key. This is something that not a lot of us do particularly well, is we don't set a time to follow up. So when I share something with someone, I'll always say something to the effect of, now, if I share this with you, do you think you'll get to look at it within the next 48 hours? Yes or no? No, I'm a bit busy this week. Give me 7 days. Great. I'm going to follow up with you on Friday at 5 o'clock. How does that sound to you? Fabulous. You've then made an appointment with them. The most important thing to do then is keep that appointment. The worst thing that you can do is ring at 5:30 when you said you were going to ring at 5 o'clock, because it doesn't show integrity. But simply following that pattern every time you share the link means that you're not sitting there going, oh God, have I left it too long? Should I ring them now? What if they don't want me to ring? What if they've not listened to it? Then will I be nagging? And then you're starting to tell yourself a lot of stories that aren't necessarily true. And then you just do that over and over again. Now, I don't care what your DMO is. My DMO is 35553. It's the one that I've adopted off Simon Chan. Your DMO might be 5 new contacts. Whatever your daily method of operation, whatever your commitment to yourself as to how many new contacts you make, how many follow-ups you do, how many invites you do, sorry, I just got distracted by a question, then it doesn't matter, but do it consistently. And that's where the value of the 30 and 30 grid is. You've made the commitment to yourself to make 3 new contacts, then you fill 3 of those boxes on the 30 and 30 grid every single day. But when you look at those people who are most successful in this business, they are the ones that are consistently doing their daily method of operation, because as we've said before, this is a numbers game. And then finally, the last point to starting strong is invite people to events. Now, they may be, for example, our customer care event, which is happening tomorrow night with Carla, Wednesday night with Carla, who's going to do a fantastic presentation. You might want to invite people along to that. You might want to invite them to our online events. You might want to invite them to some of our live events that we have in homes. But it might even be a 3-way phone call. It might even be a coffee date with your sponsor. But make sure that you are inviting people along to events, because there is nothing like third-party validation. And it certainly proves to be true when we look at the volume of business that is being done in May as a result of people inviting to some of our big open events for people. So let me just rehash again on the basic principles. You want to create a list. You want to be developing your story on product and business. You want to be reaching out and expanding that list using social media networks. You want to be inviting people to look at the product, asking great questions, showing them the links. You want to be doing that on a consistent daily basis, your DMO, and you want to be inviting people to events. And that's it, guys. That is the basic principles of starting strong in our business. There is nothing more complex than that. And I've got the pleasure now of introducing you to some beautiful women who have been doing these exact principles and are really growing their business. So I might start with Cami, if you wouldn't mind. Cami, I'm just going to unmute you. Now, Cami's just made SDVF Fast Track, didn't you, my friend?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background, if you wouldn't mind.
My background of how I found
from.
Oh, right, where I come from. Okay. Right, yes. All right, I'm from London originally, and then I moved to Italy, and I lived there for just shy of 10 years, like in my 20s. And then I moved to Perth in 2009. And I work in content creation and brand development for businesses in the health and wellness space, which is how I got introduced to Juice Plus.
Ah, fantastic. So it's a really good fit for you in the philosophy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So why the Juice Plus virtual franchise for you, Cami?
Well, I work very closely with Carla, who's doing the event on Wednesday night. And so I worked on her book when she was doing that originally. And that's when I obviously started researching Juice Plus properly, and I guess opening my mind to the idea of taking a supplement. I've never taken any sorts of supplements ever. And then back in October, I hadn't just had my second baby, was 8 months old. I was getting back into work. I had my own business. My son was 3.5 at the time. I was absolutely exhausted. And Carla said, just try Juice Plus and just see if it can help you in any way. And I was honestly so desperate that I was like, I'll just try anything. And I had one of those incredible stories where my energy was up within days. And I went from feeling like I didn't have any energy to do anything other than what was required of me, to being able to get up in the morning and go for runs and feel like I was getting back on top of myself and, not feeling exhausted in the evenings and everything like that. And so I guess I just organically started talking to friends about it. I didn't think of it as a business at all. But people noticed the difference in me. Work colleagues noticed the difference, friends and stuff. And so they started asking me about it. And I was very passionately, shouting from the rooftops about this amazing Juice Plus that had literally, saved the day. And then one of my best friends said to me, okay, Cam, I really want to try it. And if I've got to buy it through someone, why don't I buy it through you? And I said, okay. And that was it. So I said, all right, Carla, let's do this. And that was it.
And so you've grown quite quickly. So you've done your fast track SDVF within the first 40 days in business. How did you get from that moment of, right, Carla, let's do this, to that fast track? What were the sorts of things that you were doing?
So I did the list. I watched some training videos about, you know, what to do and how to start properly and stuff like that. So I just did the list, and I reached out to my warm market, as you'd call it, you know, my friends and family who I knew would definitely benefit and would also just take my word for it. So I reached out to them, and I got my friend, who was the one that said to me, I want to try it, let's do it through you. Kat, she's a kindy mum with me, and another friend, Nick, who you've met, chatted to them. They both said yes. That was, I think, around 700 points, something like that. And so I called my dad, and I said, Dad, you know, we've been talking about, because he'd been asking me for ages about nutrition anyway, and we'd been working on his nutrition anyway. And I said, you know, this would really help, so let's do this. And so he made up the difference. That was my DVF. And then for SDVF, I had an event at my house, which was very nerve-wracking. I plan events for people for a job, but not for myself. I'm definitely not used to the spotlight. But it was fantastic, really fantastic. And I got a far greater number of people than I thought I would, and not just people who were coming to support me because, you know, they're my friends and they love me and they wanted to support me, but people who actually wanted to hear about the product. And also the general message I have around my Juice Plus business is to fill your cup. So reaching out to mums, especially sort of at my time in life when we're juggling 1,000 different things and feeling like our cup is the one that everyone is drinking from. And that's fine, but often we give out everything and don't have enough left for us. And so it's that thing of just making sure that your cup is full enough for you as well as everybody else. And I think that really resonated in that. Loads of people signed up after that.
Amazing. And how many people did you have come along to your event?
25.
Wow, that's really good. How many people did you invite, Cami?
Just over 30.
Oh, wow. So that's a really good hit rate, actually. Did you do a follow-up before they came to ensure that they were coming?
Yeah, I did it. So I did it on Facebook. I did it through my personal page. And I also said to people, you know, invite people who you think would enjoy it as well. So I think the total invite list was actually over 40, but a lot of them I didn't know. Yeah. And then I did an event page, and I posted quite regularly on the event page. So, and I did, because I do recipe development as well for a job. So I said we'd be doing these recipes, and they'd all get the recipes to take home with them. And I was posting videos of me making the recipes, and, you know, like a menu for the event. And I also had Carla, who's my sponsor, but who's also a holistic health coach. I had her on the list, you know, saying that she was going to come and talk and give a book discount. And then I also had another body confidence expert who I work with, Dr. Catherine. She came as well as like another sort of VIP guest, you know. So I sort of marketed a bit of a wellness morning. But I did tell everyone that we would also be talking about Juice Plus, so they knew that we were coming. They were coming for wellness and everything, but that we were also going to be talking about Juice Plus, so that they knew what to expect.
So a couple of points for everyone there, I guess. Number one, you were joint venturing with other people. So that's always good to joint venture with other people. But you themed your event, which is great. Now, I know there's people on here probably think, oh my God, I'm a stay-at-home mum and I don't have these skills that Cami has. But there's lots of different things that you can do. You can just, you can use one of the ebooks out of the different groups that we have. You can gift people with those things. You can just show people how to make smoothies, or even salad in a jar, or even soups coming into winter. So I guess it's another one that I quite like is wine and wellness. So getting people to come over for a glass of wine, or high tea with JP, where you have a nice little afternoon tea. So what you've done is themes, and I love that. That's really good, and obviously it worked really well with your particular tribe, which is good. What about inviting people into the business? How did you go about that?
Yeah, no, that's the bit I find the most difficult. I have the list, and I have asterisks it, you know, with absolute heart and soul. And I think coming from it, from the right perspective, in that I'm now, you know, so passionate about the business and how it can change lives for the better. And I've sort of identified the people whom I think would benefit, but getting that conversion is the bit I find difficult. So I invited them to your wonderful event.
Fair party credibility. I love it.
Yeah. So I did that, and I've got them on to Transformation Hub, and I'm going to keep doing events excuse me, sort of regularly, like once every 4 or 6 weeks, and I do it on social media and stuff like that, but just very subtle. I sort of figure that, you know, people will find it when it's the right time for them.
Yeah.
And if it's not the right time for them, then it's definitely not my position to sort of force it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm here also to hear other people's tips on how to get the business side of it. I think people are often a bit scared. One of the friend who you know, not convinced me, but who gave me the confidence to go for this in the first place, Kat. She was very close to doing it, and then sort of backed out because her life just got a bit busy for a while, and I think she felt like she couldn't dedicate to fast tracking, and then so didn't want to do it. So I think it's also probably about experience from our point of view on teaching people that they don't necessarily have to go for the fast tracking, and that there are other ways, and that it can actually fit into your life, you know, in whichever way is most comfortable for you.
Yeah. And I think that's also the most ethical way to do it. And I think that's what we also have a responsibility to do is lift the ethics of this industry by making it about them and not making it about us and us hitting goals. So, I commend you on that. And, for Kat, it's a no, not now, but it doesn't mean no, not forever. So, you'll come back round to that, which is great. And she'll respect you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, there's nothing better than having friends get super passionate about it. And that's what I love, that you tell your story, and then so much of the time people that then start on the project have a very similar story, and they get excited about it, and they're texting you about it. And, life suddenly feels sweeter and juiced up, as all my friends are saying.
That's good. Well, congratulations, Cami, for reaching SDVF. Enjoy your bonus. I'm sure you will. Drinks on you.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to move on to Amy now. Amy's been in our business a little bit longer, and Amy has hit sales coordinator. And I love the fact that this girl and her tribe, her team, sat down at the beginning of May and set a goal to have achieved something before conference, and you guys have absolutely smashed it. So testimony to you. Amy, tell us a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your background. You've done this in the cumulative way, right? Yeah, I'll hand over.
Yeah, thanks, Tam. So my background is mining. So oh, my dog's just come in. Hang on. Of course, the kid's got to start crying and the dog comes in. Sorry. So, yeah, my background's mining. I had a really nice roster. It was week on, week off. And, I was earning really good money. And then when I decided to come back to Perth, I went back to my old job from my early 20s, and then I decided to have babies. So I went from having such a good income to not earning anything for myself. So that was a big thing for me. And when this business came along, I'm the kind of person that says yes to anything as well. So when it came along, I was like, all right, cool, no worries, I'll try that. And fast track to DVF, in the first day, and that was nice and easy. But then it sort of went a little bit slower after that. Which is quite interesting, because now I'm at SC, I'm like, I just want to fast track the whole way there now.
That's awesome. So tell me, you and Simone, who we're going to hear from in a minute, you and Simone sat down at the beginning of May with Taryn, your sponsor, and you guys wanted to achieve the goal of SC, both of you, by conference. What have you done this month in order to do that?
Yeah, so me and Simon set that goal as well in about February. Yeah, so we were talking about that back then, and yeah, just to get to that point, I was really watching a lot of well, I made Monday nights my thing. I would never miss a Monday night team training, but I'd also like flick through and watch like what you guys are doing, or the NMDs. I'm like, all right, so you are all sitting in an office. You're not like, because I'd sit in bed and be half asleep and not really listening. And, I decided, all right, well, this is what they're doing. I'm going to do that. So I set at our old house, I didn't have an office. So I just set a desk up in the lounge room and the kids weren't allowed to come in. So that was a big one for me, like getting my space sorted, which was really, really cool. But then it was actually doing my DMO because I wasn't doing it. So that was a really fun one to sort of figure out. I didn't really even understand what the high paying activities were. I didn't really even know what that meant. So so that was really cool, sort of nailing that down.
So can I just expand on that a little bit more? What are the high paying activities? What has been most productive for you?
Well, mine are, I add 5 people every day, like 5 new people to my social media, and I connect with them. Not everybody messages me back or accepts the friend request, but that's cool. But at the minimum, I do 5 people a day, and I've met quite a few nice mums. Like my audience is mums, so I've met quite a few nice mums that I met one of them like that 2 years ago on social media, and she's just signed up to be a teamie of mine, which is so exciting. So I love that. And then, you figure out you've got things in common. I did write it down here, following up with previous conversations. Even I went back maybe at the start of May to conversations I had a year ago, and I screenshotted every single one, and there was about 100. So I put that all on the one little thing on my phone and followed up with all of them about if they were still interested, if it was still on their radar. And that was really fun. So I got a couple of new customers out of doing that. So follow-ups are, a big high pay one for me. And then, just posting on social media and making sure doing that daily into my group and my page. And I really just got my page sort of like on, whatever with like who I want to attract and everything like that. So I made it kind of like my business card. And yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. And you're just consistently doing that for the entirety of May.
Yeah, and that you talk about stolen moments, because that was all around my 4 kids and my sick husband. So I was really doing that in the stolen moments of my crazy life. And so it's, you can do that in 15 minutes there, 15 minutes here, and yeah.
Yeah, good for you. Well done. And look, guys, there's a fabulous webinar. I'm just going to give a quick plug for it now. There's a fabulous webinar happening this week that Simon Chan is running, mlmnation.com/30 minutes. So 30 minutes. If you want to register for that, it shows you how you can build a business in just 30 minutes a day using the exact principles that Amy has been employing. Now, I've just realised that Simone said she had a very important massage to attend tonight, giving herself a pat on the back for achieving sales coordinator. But what is amazing about Simone is that she's actually achieved that whilst she's been traveling around the US. So she managed to continue to build her business online despite the fact that she was traveling around the US. And, hats off to her. She worked really, really hard. I know that Simone is a regular attender at our Tuesday night events. So she's a big one for utilising the events that are around her. Thanks, Amy. I'm going to move on now. Congratulations. Can't wait for you to buy me a drink at conference and celebrate with you. All right. I'm going to move it right along now to Carolina. Now, this woman is absolutely amazing. And what is incredible about Carolina is that and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Carolina, but
No,
I know there was a time a little earlier this year where I think you wanted to pack everything up in a box and leave it on Tanya's front doorstep and walk away, and you didn't, which is amazing, and now you've hit SDVF. Carolina is also one of our prolific contributors to Complete Life Transformation. She just does it out of the goodness of her heart, and we love everything that you contribute to the greater community. So can you tell us a little bit about your background? You've just hit SDVF. You've done it in the cumulative way. And you, like me, have built your business slowly. Tell me how you've done it.
So this time round, I have decided to do my list. So that was my main thing. I think my background is I work for the education department, and I work with children with disabilities. So I've always been really, really passionate about just children in general and their health and their well-being. So for me, Juice Plus was kind of like it just came in a funny way roundabout. I'd had it a long time ago, and I used to work with Tanya, and we went our separate ways, and just happened to find ourselves back again. And it was just happened that she was mentioning how she had, her son, and she was worried about his nutrition. And I was like, well, it seems pretty healthy. You guys are always eating lovely, healthy food. And she sort of introduced me, said, oh, we use Juice Plus. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I've heard of that before, but wasn't sure where until I saw the bottle, and I went, oh, I know this because I've used it before. And it just, I said to Tanya, I need to get some back into my life because I know how good this is. And we started to, get some order. I got my order in, and I think by the time her and I sat down together to log in to try and get my login details and my password, I'd already hit DVF, which was quite funny. And then from then on, I just sort of, did the word and passed it around and shared it with the people that I, needed it and wanted it. But then it just sort of seemed to stop. And I just went, oh, okay, what am I doing wrong? Where have I lost it? And then I just sort of took a step back, and I realized, I'm very passionate about food. I love cooking, and and that was where I brought it back in again. I thought, okay, I need to do this, and I'm going to do it right. And I'm going to do it because I know there are people out there who really, really benefit from this product. And especially one of them was my husband, who's sitting right here right now. He's probably ignoring the whole situation. He was one of my ones that hit me back and went, okay, I need to do this because I believe in this product, and I believe in what it stands for and how it helps others. So for me, it's just been re-looking and reassessing how I want to do this, not just for me, but for other people out there. So I sat down with Hillary, and I sat down with Tanya, and we had a really good chat, and it just, it switched on. I just thought, okay, I've missed out on a few things that I should have been doing in the beginning. And I'm a lot more, I guess, vigilant with my follow-ups. I'm being a little bit more courteous and in finding out, did they enjoy the clip I sent? Was there any questions? And it's just been phenomenal, the kind of response I'm getting back for just paying that little bit of an extra attention to the people that I've introduced the product to. So that's been my month. It's been crazy, but really rewarding. So I'm really happy with it.
That's great. And I love the fact that you've realised the fortune is in the follow-up. You also use our lifestyle program as well. I know that you add a lot of your customers to that. So you're excellent at caring on your customers as well, which only grows your bank of raving fans. So congratulations, Carolina. It's been beautiful to see you hit SDVF.
Thank you.
And, just a lesson for everybody there. If you don't hate your business at one point in time, then you haven't worked hard enough. I think I've hated my business 1,000 times over. So thank you for sharing. So guys, we're going to leave it there. I know that there's other people that have calls now. I just want to bring you back to, this is about doing the simple things every single day. So sharing your story, reaching out to new networks, expanding that list, utilising the events that are around you and just being consistent with this every single day. What we know to be true is that if you work, this business will pay you. It's that direct correlation, but you have to actually go to work in order to generate the income and the lifestyle that you're looking for. So can't wait to share more stories in June. At the end of June, we've got a huge month ahead of us. Please get on the SMS or the Messenger or the Facebook or the email and get people along to our event on Wednesday night with Carla. Because it really is a special one. Let's utilise the opportunity that we have. There will be Zoom capability for those who are out of town. Please, if you live around the corner, please don't hop on Zoom. Please come and put a bum on a seat and support your community. And yeah, a couple of weeks to conference. If you haven't heard already, they have now released day tickets, either the Friday or the Saturday, dinner not included. So if you do have any prospects that is interested in coming along and having a look at the business, they can purchase a day ticket, or to people who have made the excuse that they can't come. Amy's got 4 children and a set of twins in there, so if she can do it, anyone can do it. Yeah, just know that those single day tickets are now available. Have a beautiful night. Have a great week. Can't wait to see you, and look forward to next Monday night's call, which is being hosted by one of our QNMDs, Annika, who will be hosting a call on partner support in this business and partners working together in this business. It's going to be fantastic. So if you've got a partner that needs to hear from another partner in the business, then make sure that you get them on next Monday night's call. It's going to be fabulous. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Bye.